Hello, welcome to Shooting the Shift again. It's another week without Milton, sadly. That guy makes too much noise on his keyboard.
Yeah.
That's Bryn.
Hi!
Mechanical keyboard life.
I don't have a keyboard. I mean, I do. That's a lie.
Laptop life.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a laptop, but I've still got a mechanical keyboard. Anyway, so this week we're going to talk about car movies, I guess. So I'm going to open up the bidding for one of the greatest car movies of all time with Mad Max, The Road Warrior.
Fantastic film.
I've never seen it.
Oh, mate, you're missing out. You are missing out. It's a brilliant.
Do you know how tempted I am just to replace Matt with a white square and cut all his audio for the rest of the episode? He clearly has no valid opinions on this topic whatsoever from this point forward.
Oh, seriously, dude, you've got to watch it. One of the
Yeah, it's on my list.
Film that, like, I knew I was going to love it when they started, like, when you knew they were getting the cars bit of it right, you knew that they cared about it. Was like right at the beginning of the film, they're like mobilizing all the boys and they all run out to this big hall and there's just a tree of quick release steering wheels and they all like get their steering wheels off the tree. I was like, yes, proper little snap on boys.
Are you talking Fury Road or are you talking Road Warrior?
Oh, I don't know what they're all called. The new one.
No, that's Fury Road.
Yeah, I know that's Fury Road.
So you've got Mad Max 1, which is just Mad Max. You've got Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior. Mad Max 3, the one with the Thunderdome. And Fury Road. And I maintain that The Road Warrior and Fury Road are the two best car films out of those four films.
I don't think I've seen Road Warrior because I tried to watch Mad Max 1 and it looks so dated now that I just couldn't do it.
You're going to have the same experience with Mad Max 2, but you need to watch 1 because they get the bikes right in 1. Is all I'm going to say about that. They get the attitude of post-apocalyptic bikers just right. Very Bosazoku, in the truest sense of the word. And then the Road Warrior, you will love the car. That's it, Bryn. You'll be into the car. That's that whole thing. Then the Thunderdome knows what happened. And then back with Fury Road, which you are right. They got that right with all the steering wheel tree and
so good. I mean, for the longest time when that was coming out, just as it was getting up to the release, like my temporary dream job was to be one of the dudes that did all of the cars for the film. Imagine that as a job.
That would be a truly awesome job. So I think we set the bar, right? We're gonna have we'll do like a grading system, right? So we'll have A grade, B grade, C grade, and F grade.
You can do that whole tier list thing.
No, we're just doing 4. I'm not gonna build a list. I'll list down below what we've graded them in the description, right? So I'm gonna say Fury Road and. See, this isn't fair because I'm the only one that's seen.
That's
Road
fine.
Warrior.
You're the only
I trust your judgment.
Yeah, if you're the only one that's seen a film, then you're the only one who gets to vote on it.
Yeah, we can't argue with you because we haven't seen it.
All right, Mad Max Fury Road, A grade. Mad Max Road Warrior. Again, it's got to be an A grade, right?
Okay.
Right. So just thinking about what else what else is going to be on that list?
Can I put forward the Italian Job?
Yes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, there's the original 1969 version. There's also the version from 2003.
Okay, so I'm going to say they are both, and people are going to hate me for saying this, I think they're kind of C-grade films.
I'd put the remake as a sort of CB. No, I don't think the remake's as bad as everybody thinks it is, but I think the Italian Job's sort of BA. Not quite at the top, but I think it's between the two.
The remake of the Italian Job is as bad as the BMW remake of the Mini. Right?
In fact,
the Italian Job remake is an F.
I completely agree with that, because if they hadn't called it the Italian Job, it would have been a fantastic film. But because it was pegged as a remake, the same way the BMW Mini was called a Mini, if they hadn't gone with the name of the original, they'd have been fine.
Okay, so right, the new Italian Job, we'll call it C.
C.
Because actually, the new Minis are quite fun to drive. They're just not a Mini.
Yeah.
They're a
you
good
take
platform,
you take the Mini out of the out of the equation, and they're good cars.
So you call
they're
it
just not Mini.
BMW Retro Boy.
There you go. That would be so much better.
Old Italian Job, right? It's just, for me as a film, it's too full of Michael Caineisms. It's the film that spawned Michael Caineisms, right?
Yeah.
And because of that, I can't take it seriously. So I'm going to say a B.
Yeah, I'd agree with the B. There's a few places that let it down. But overall, I think it's a good film. It's a good watch.
Yeah, firm B grade.
Firm B grade for. So go on, Brim. What's yours? What are you coming in with?
I've got two that occupy.
Is that a Brinism?
Yeah, they occupy roughly the same category, and the thing that made them so good, like quite a few car films, is not necessarily just the carness, but something that a lot of car films have that they always get right is the soundtrack as well.
Okay.
So if you're saying great car films with a great soundtrack, all about driving, gets the vibe right, there's two films in that category. Okay. One, obviously, Drive.
Yeah.
Arguably a better soundtrack than it is a film, so I'm gonna offer that in as a B grade.
Yeah, I'm willing to agree with that.
The other one is one that I would call an A grade, but I don't think other people would agree with me because again, they hit the vibe perfect, and that was Baby Driver.
I am willing to say Baby Driver is an A grade driving film.
So good.
I need to watch more car films.
Watch Baby Driver.
What? Yeah,
I've watched older car films, but not more up to date car films.
So here's two, right? So we'll run off two at a time each, right? So my next two, I am gonna say are both, again, both A graders. Rush.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Ford versus Ferrari from 2019.
Absolutely.
Ford versus Ferrari.
Have you not seen it?
Is that what it was called?
Yep.
With Christian Bale?
I am sure it was called Ford versus Ferrari.
I think that's what it was called in America. I think it was called Lemans here.
Might have been called Lemans here. I
went to see that in the cinema, and while it was a very good film, there were one thing I really hate, right, is when people who write the scripts for car films try to get technical in a way that doesn't flow with the script, and they do it just to try and impress people. And if you don't absolutely 100% get it right, you do a real bad job. And there was a lot of that in that film. They said things that made no sense.
I think some of the problem with films like that, factual films like that, is they've got to try and be factual to include all the relevant information because it's quite important at the time. However, it's still got to be entertaining for the people that don't want all that technical data.
Oh, all right.
If that makes sense.
So Rush is definitely an A.
Yeah, that's easy.
And Lemans stroke Ford versus Ferrari. I don't know why I've used the American name as well, because I wasn't living in the States when I saw it. B+.
I enjoyed the film, so
I'm willing to accept it's an A grade, but just.
No, I'm willing to let Bryn, as the engineer, score it down for technical stuff.
No,
but
but
I'm not willing to let it be a B.
It was a really good watch. It's just like, I wish they'd asked somebody when they're like, is this line correct? No, say this and it would be. Or like when they come into the pit stop and they're like, oh, the brakes are overheating, everything's red hot. And the dude just grabs the wheel with his bare ass hands. Like, no.
Yeah, but anyway. that's because it's vintage racing and there was no health and safety brake.
They probably genuinely did that.
But no, that is an A grade film.
Okay, it's an A grade, right? I'm updating the list to make it an A grade film. So, and then the other thing we're going to do at the end of this is see who has chosen the most A grade films to bring up.
Oh.
So continuing on with that sort of theme.
Yeah.
This one's more of a documentary than an actual film, but it's a feature length thing. Senna.
Yeah.
That's I put that at the top. That's.
You're saying Senna as a documentary is an A grade car film.
It's a feature length one. It's the way it's presented.
I'm saying that as a documentary, it lets itself down because it could have been more entertaining and should be a B.
It's less It by definition, I think it is documentary, but it's not presented in a documentary kind of way.
I don't think it's as good as Rush.
No, I don't think it's as good as Rush either.
Next question.
Okay. And then my second one might be controversial because I'm going to put out Need for Speed.
Oh, right. So, Need for Speed starts well.
Mm.
And then Need for Speed very quickly becomes the Fast and the Furious 9.
Yeah.
The problem is they clearly wanted to use supercars, and they found an excuse to put supercars in fairly early on, but they went back to the Mustang.
But they then also, the other side of that is they had a character who is fundamentally not the kind of guy who's going to build a supercar. Like, he would be able to drive a supercar, yeah. But he has built a car for a specific purpose. He's built it on a Mustang platform. And then there's just supercars everywhere. And I think that ruins the story. He ceases to be the plucky underdog at the point that he just gets a swanky car.
For me, it's one of those films where if you read into it like that, you start bringing it down a few levels. You just watch it for entertainment value. There's nothing wrong with it. But the problem is, as car
value for me.
But the thing is, as car people, we look into the details.
I can't rate it that highly, I must say.
I think the average Joe would find it absolutely fine, but because we're car people, it starts to fall down a bit.
What grade are you saying, Bryn?
I'd be willing to offer him a B.
C- from me.
I was going to come in the middle and come in at C. Because I don't think it's not.
So we'll take the average of those. It's not quite an F in my brain. We'll drop her at a C.
Yeah, we'll give it a C. I mean, I was being generous with my B, so let's make it a C grade film.
Right. Yeah. You're up again, Bryn.
Let's be real.
I've got to come up with two car films.
Yeah.
Two car films.
I can't look at my DVDs because they're still packed in boxes.
Okay.
I'm just Google.
Cars, obviously.
Prime A grade film.
Absolute A grade film. Perfect film.
And are we counting the whole like Is it trilogy or?
No, God, no. No, you can't
We
have
are
the
definitely, in with the A grade stuff, we are definitely counting the Tomato Mick take of Tokyo Drift, though. It's like one of the Pixar shorts, but it's brilliant.
I think the thing you've got with Cars is it's a Pixar film, and most of the Pixar films are pretty good.
But like Cars was like up there. Cars 2 is like, yeah, this is pretty good, and then Cars 3 is like, okay, yeah, now we're getting bad now.
Yeah, the problem with some film series, and we'll get around to this when somebody brings up Fast and Furious, is they start out well and they're like, let's make a sequel, and the sequel's pretty okay, and then it goes downhill from there. Because they start stretching the story too thin.
Yeah, which Disney Pixar has never been bad for, because they very rarely have done sequels, but like...
Well, this is it, and it's generally the first two. If they make a 2-film series, you're fine. Anything more than that is usually where it starts going downhill.
Yeah, I've still got to come up with a second car film.
Look at him, he's so
stressed.
Do you want to reduce down to one a round now?
Please, because it's going to take a long time.
All right, I'm gonna salvage this episode now. Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Oh, yes. Did you know, Bam, and I bet you didn't, but you do now, there is a guy in the British Drift Championship whose livery the year before last was the Ricky Bobby Talladega Nights car. He even had the windscreen sticker that covered the windscreen, and he had the jacket.
Right, so that is like, and that's not a serious car film. That's not attempting to be serious. It's just golden, right? So are we saying A grade or B grade?
Absolutely.
A grade.
Absolutely.
I think what we're doing here is all picking films that we like, so they're going in at the top.
No, we're not. Because I can see some C's on some people's suggestions here, Matt.
Don't worry, I've run out of good films, so minus.
I only think Need for Speed knew it would become controversial.
No one's gone in on any of the blatantly obvious 9 or 10 films, is it now?
No one dares.
The one I've already mentioned.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm gonna go there, right? Genuinely good car film from that series. I quite liked Tokyo Drift, like a B level film.
So I'm on board with Fast and Furious 1, 2, and 3, which is Tokyo Drift. That's about where my love for the film series ends. I think they did one later on, might have been 5 or 6, that was like the one that was good within the rest of them. But that's about it for me.
So Tokyo Drift, A or a B?
B.
I think B.
I don't think there's a Fast and Furious film that actually is A grade, because they're all a little bit ridiculous.
And then the Fast and the Furious, the first one.
The one with the Jetta with no brakes on it.
In the floor pan falling off. Yeah, that's
that
one.
one.
Yeah, that one. B?
Solid B.
Yeah.
And then the entire rest of the franchise, F.
Fully on F.
I'd vote for Too Fast, Too Furious at least as a C, and then put the rest as F.
I think you've been outvoted by me and Bryn there, mate.
No, I'll give him that. Number 2 is a C. The rest of the series that we're doing after, yeah.
Oh,
worth it.
You can't argue with that, because we're talking about a film series where they jumped a supercar from one skyscraper to another skyscraper.
And for some reason, I went to see that in the cinema. I'm not sure.
Because the second someone goes, there's going to be a new Fast and the Furious film, what you do is you go, just on the off chance, you go, have they fixed it? Is it stopped being an action film now? Is it just going to be street racing again?
This is it. I think if you get up to sort of 3 or 4-ish and they stop being car films and they start being action films. Like the most ridiculous thing about the entire franchise for me is the one with the plane and the runway that's about 30 miles long.
Yeah.
And the whole sequence goes on for about 20 minutes. That and parachuting cars.
Yep, I think.
What the fuck was that about? And yes, I did swear because it was ridiculous.
I mean, it's not, because the army parachute tanks into war zones, so...
That's the army, damn!
Well, they're clearly the army, because they're in so many damn action films.
At one point, they were chasing a submarine across some ice fields, so, you know...
It's an adventure, Matthew.
It was terrible.
Right, shall I bring up another film?
Yeah.
So, maybe less... I mean, it's got cars in it, but it's less what you'd think as a car film as Transformers.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even allowing that as a car film.
Oh.
That's an action movie.
Yeah, to be fair.
I mean, technically it's probably more sci-fi, but still. It's got cars in it.
No, it doesn't. It has giant robots that transform into cars. It's not a car film. Don't get pedantic with me, boy.
I'm culling him back up from the internet because I've run out of car films.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through Google Images on car films as we speak.
All right. So, what else we got?
Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah. That was good.
But there is a remake.
Was that the one with Nicolas Cage?
I think the Nicolas Cage version is the remake.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's a solid, at least a B.
Yeah. I mean, that was like probably one of the highlights of Nicolas Cage's career.
I would give Gone in 60 Seconds an A.
I'd be more inclined to give it an A. I'd be more inclined to give it an A if they didn't trash the Mustang at the end.
You can't
like the whole point is they're stealing cars to order. So they get them all there in perfect nick, and every other car they steal, apart from that one, gets there without a scratch. And then the last one, they absolutely trash it.
You get yourself involved in a police chase in a vintage Mustang and see how much damage you don't do to it escaping from the police, Matt.
I've never been in a police chase, so I wouldn't know. I've never driven a Mustang either, actually.
I think my point stands, and I think it's an A.
I'd give it a B+.
B.
Fine. B.
Been outvoted.
Yeah.
I'll accept that I have been outvoted. Right. Another absolute classic, right? And I'm going to confess the fact I know of this film. Brenny, you're right there, mate. Your head's like fully down.
Who's doing research?
Sorry. Just scrolling.
Bullet.
Not seen it.
Neither have I.
Not seen it. Right, okay, that's now on our list for one to see for the next time we do one of these.
Are we allowing films that are driving but not necessarily cars?
Such as?
Speed.
As a good film. Is it a car film?
Not really, it's a bus.
Yeah, well, it's not even really a bus film, is it? It's more like a terror suspense film.
It's an action film.
But it is a good film.
It's a good film. It is just an action film.
I can think of other films.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Hey, that was mine. Shut up, Bam. Smokey and the Bandit.
Good point, well made.
So I was going to bring up another film, but it's got a really good car chase, or what I think is a really good car chase in it, but the car chase itself is about 10% of the film.
Right.
And it's the new version of the Sweeney.
No.
Not seen it.
It's not a car film. It's not a car film in any way, shape, or form.
I'll tell you what is a car film that I'm going to allow, though, boys. Herbie Goes Bananas. Have you not seen that classic Herbie film?
I've seen it, but...
Like, I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying it's a solid E-grade car film, but it's just funny if you like old films.
I thought we were going A, B, C, D, and then F.
We make our own rules. Like Smokey and the Bandit, I'm throwing in there as like an F star. Like it's an F, but it is cracking F. Like it's awful, but really good. But definitely awful.
Smokey and the Bandit, F star.
Sorry, Will. I know that's like his favorite film.
No, that probably because it's Will's favorite film. Maybe we should make it an F star plus.
No,
Okay.
just F star. So
have you two even seen Herbie Goes Bananas?
Yeah.
No, don't intend to.
They're all right films. It's not for me. But that's a personal thing.
I'm making Herbie Goes Bananas an A then, because you've never seen it.
That is the rule. To be fair, we can't actually argue with him.
What about the Green Hornet?
Right, so the reason Herbie Goes... This might be a little bit biased. The reason Herbie Goes Bananas is like one of my favourite films ever is I used to sit and watch it with my granddad before he passed away.
That doesn't make it a good film.
It makes it the greatest film ever.
It means he's got a lot of nostalgia for it.
Fine,
Yeah.
It can be a C.
Thank you.
Right. Green Hornet is what I brought up.
What is that?
That is a superhero movie, Matthew. You get back in your box.
It technically is, but they heavily rely on the car, and the car is what's doing the work for them.
That's dubious, mate. That is dubious, right? That is dubious, okay?
What's he doing?
I'm not letting Matt have that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, but we started to run out of proper ones.
I mean, I'd like to make an honourable mention for James Bond, because they always have fantastic cars in them, but they're not car films.
Really, really good car film. Really good car chases.
That's my response to James Bond as a car film.
No,
I didn't bring up James Bond as a car film. I'm giving James Bond an honourable mention because they usually have good car chases and good cars themselves, but they're not car films. Except Casino Royale, where he made like 2 corners in his Aston and then rolled it, which was completely improbable.
They are not a single Bond film is a car film.
At no point did I say James Bond is a car film.
But that's what we're here to talk about, mate.
No, I'm bringing up the fact that... No, whatever.
All right, we're going to go back to the 90s. And Days of Thunder.
I'm not saying it.
About NASCAR, Brain. I genuinely thought your mullet-wearing self would have seen that.
In case you haven't realised, I don't watch car films. I hate car films. Really don't like them.
Because a lot of them are just inaccurate.
Yeah. I mean, I'm reading through this list, and my God, what's the one with the murder car of death?
Oh, Death Race.
No, not that one, but good option. Good option.
Oh, I know what you mean, because Futurama did a parody of it, didn't they?
Yeah, it's like chasing some people down, and it's just murdering the out of them.
I think you're just thinking of Futurama, mate.
No, it was a thing. It was a thing, and it just killed them all. Oh, come on. Death Proof? The car looks right.
I think you're on your own on that one.
I'm sure it's called Death Proof. It was like...
I think I've just introduced a swooshy thing because my computer did something weird. So I have noticed my camera is lagging something rotten.
Yeah, no, Death Proof. Death Proof was the name of it. It was awful. Absolutely horrific. Had this car.
The Tarantino one.
Maybe? Yeah. No, that's Grindhouse.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, yeah. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about. Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof car kills lots of people. Lots of death. Dying. Terrible film.
All right. So I think we've come to the bottom of what the list is, right? And we've been talking about films for like half an hour already. So, all right, we're gonna run through the list again.
Fastest Indian. Sorry.
It's a random extra one.
Documentary-ish. Good film.
Okay. Yeah. I'm willing to accept as a documentary. It's a good documentary. I'll give you that. So, the list that I've managed to make a note of, because we've kind of got a bit off-piste towards the end, is for our A-grade films, Mad Max Fury Road.
Yep.
Mad Max Road Warrior.
Maybe.
You're going to have to watch it, obviously. Baby Driver.
Yes!
Rush.
Yep.
Lemans. Cars.
Yes!
Talladega Nights.
Oh, yes.
And then it all then we're on the B grade films, right? So we've got The Italian Job, the old one. Senna. Tokyo Drift and the Fast and the Furious. Gone in 60 Seconds, the new one with Nick Cage.
Mm.
Then we've got C grade, The New Italian Job, Need for Speed, Too Fast, Too Furious, Herbie Goes Bananas.
God's sake.
Then we've got the F grades. Everything from the Fast and the Furious that isn't the 3 previously aforementioned films an F grade.
Correct.
Smokey and the Bandit is an F star grade.
Yes.
And every action film that Matt suggested, because they're not car films.
Off the bottom of all of that, actually, I would like to introduce a Z-grade film, right? This is the worst thing ever. This is a public service announcement, right? If it's like Saturday night and you're with your mates and you're browsing Netflix and you want to find some trash, and we're talking like Sharknado levels of trash, right?
Trash car.
Trash
car TV.
Yeah, you stumble upon a film on Netflix called Rubber, okay? And it looks hilarious. It's a tire that kills people. Amazing, you think. This is going to be the funniest thing I've ever watched, okay? Do not watch that film. Do not watch that film. What would make that film hilarious? Let's think about this. Oh, it's a tire that goes on a murderous rampage, like smashing people down, breaking cars. Great. That's not what the tire does. Do you know how this tire kills people? Telekinesis! What? What? It rolls up to people in the middle of the desert and sits there shaking, and then their heads explode.
What?
What?
How does a piece of rubber do telekinesis?
But I watched all 2 hours of it.
2 hours?
Why at the first time it kills something did you just not go, F this?
Because there were like 14 of us for one of my birthdays watching this at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we thought it was incredible.
I think it's one of those things. It's one of those films that's so bad it's funny.
No, it's not.
It's not even. It's not even. It could have been. If it killed people by running them over, it would have got that category.
Even if it killed people by bouncing up and down on their heads.
Exactly. And it was just like, why was any of that produced?
So I think if you're going to go out and watch a car film tomorrow that you've probably not seen, because these two haven't, and there's 5 years between me and you, Matt? You're 5 years younger than me, aren't you? You're 30.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
How old are you, Bryn?
6.
20. Oh, how old? Did
What?
not guess? I can't remember.
No, I said 6.
26. I'll go with that.
Okay, so I'm 10 years older than Bryn at 35, give or take a bit.
Yeah, 26. Sorry, did the maths. 26.
Yeah, so at 35, I've got, like, this is why I'm remembering older films than you guys. But I think definitely go see Mad Max, The Road Warrior. But watch Mad Max to get the backstory, because it'll make a little bit more sense.
I'll try and find them this weekend for you.
Yeah, I'm going to look at this list and anything I've not seen, I'm going to watch.
But Mad Max, original Mad Max is still quite good. It's dated. I'll give you that. It's not aged. The special effects are not great in the modern world, but and definitely check out Rush if you haven't.
I'm just scrolling down a list of some random websites of like 25 car movies you need to see. And one that I've heard of but never got around to watching from the 70s is Vanishing Point.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've never seen that either.
It always comes up when people talk about car films and driving films. Smokey the Bandit, Bullet, and then Vanishing Point are the three that I always hear.
Yeah, but it's for old men, and old men close down racetracks now, so no.
And on the same vein, there's Christine as well, isn't there? The haunted.
That's on this list.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Drive's on here.
We might have to do a copyright-friendly reaction video to one of these somehow.
Yeah, be down for that.
We'll let everybody join us for like a 24-hour charity stream where they just get our reactions to whatever films we put on.
Yeah.
Bryn's looking worried about that.
Yeah, I mean that sounds horrendous. That sounds like 24 hours of my life where I'm gonna have to watch terrible films.
We won't watch Rubber, don't worry, Bryn. So anyway, I think that is the shortest episode yet of Shooting the Shift. We kind of.
I bet the comments are going to be full of people saying you missed this film and you missed this film, and yeah, more than likely.
And you know what? They can say that, and then we'll check them out before the next time we do a top whatever it is. And if they're not in it, then they were pants.
Yeah, that's good. I'd like to find some more that people like.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we could do a follow-up video. So people comment their favourite car film, and then we all go and watch them, and then do another video with those.
That is literally what we've just said.
No, as in rate what everyone's from the comments and give them a rating list.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm down with that. That'll get the comments and interaction up. So, that's the end of this episode of Shooting the Shift. Thanks for watching. We'll give you back maybe like an hour of your life compared to normal. Don't forget, if you like what you see, like and subscribe. Sorry about some of the cameras doing some weird stuff this week. No idea what's going on. And don't forget that all the merch that you can get to support the channel is down in the description too. He's been Matt. He's been Bryn.
Seriously, not even joking. Don't watch Rubber.
And I'm going to go and watch Rubber right now. See you all next week. We'll be back with a topic called Max Power.
My Rubber was the best film ever.
It's not even like you'll get to the end of it and be like, oh my god, yeah, that was 2 hours of my life I'll never get back. You'll just be like, yeah, no, you were right, shouldn't have watched that.
Right, on that note, goodbye.